好，背诵第1课到第37课的课文内容。Lesson 1: A private conversation. Why did the writer complain to the people behind him? Last week, I went to the theater. I had very good seat. The play was very interesting. I did not enjoy it. A young man and a young woman were sitting behind me. They were talking loudly. I got very angry. I could not hear the actors. I turned around. I looked at the man and the woman angrily. They did not pay any attention. In the end, I could not bear it. I turned around again. I can't hear a word I said. I said angrily, it's none of your business. This is private conversation. Lesson 2. Breakfast or lunch. Why was the writer's aunt surprised? It was Sunday. I never get up early on Sundays. I sometimes stay in bed until lunchtime. Last Sunday, I got up very late. I looked out of the window. It was dark outside. What a day, I thought. It's raining again. Just then, the telephone rang. It was my Aunt Lucy. I've just arrived by train, she said. I'm coming to see you. But I'm still having breakfast, I said. What are you doing? She asked. I'm having breakfast, I repeated. Dear me, she said. Do you always get up so late? It's 1 o'clock. Lesson 3. Please send me a card. How many cards did the writer send? Postcards always spoil my holidays. Last summer, I went to Italy. I visited museums and sat in public gardens. A friend in winter taught me a few words of Italy. Then he lent me a book. I read a few lines, but I did not understand a word. Every day I thought about postcards. My holidays passed quickly, but I did not send cards to my friends. On the last day, I made a big decision. I got up early and bought 37 cards. I spent the whole day in my room, but I did not write a single card. Lesson 4. Next in trip. Why is Tim finding this trip exciting? I have just received a letter from my brother Tim. He is in Australia. He has been there for 6 months. Tim is an engineer. He is working for people and has already visited a great number of different places in Australia. Has just bought an Australian car, has gone to Alice Springs, a small town in the center of Australia. He will soon fly to visit Darwin. From there, he will fly to Perth. My brother has never been abroad before, so he's finding this trip very exciting. Lesson 5. No wrong numbers. What does no wrong numbers mean? Mr. James Gard has garage in Silbury, and now he has just another garage in Pinehurst. Pinehurst is only 5 miles from Silbury, but Mr. Scott cannot get a telephone for his new garage, so he has just about 12 pigeons. Yesterday, a pigeon carried the first message from Pinehurst to Silbury. The bird covered the distance in 3 minutes. Up to now, Mr. Scott has sent a great many requests for spare parts and other urgent messages from one garage to the other. In this way, he has begun his own private telephone service. Lesson 6. Percy Buttons. Who is Percy Buttons? I have just moved to a house in Bridge Street. Yesterday, a banker knocked at my door. He asked me for a meal and a glass of beer. In return for this, the banker stood down his head and sang songs. I gave him a meal. He ate the food and drank the beer. Then he put a piece of cheese in his pocket and went away. Later, no neighbor told me about him. Everybody knows him. His name is Percy Buttons. He calls at every house in the street once a month and always asks for a meal and a glass of beer. Lesson 7. Too late. Did the detective save the diamonds? The plane was late and detectives were waiting at the airport all morning. They were expecting a valuable parcel of diamonds from South Africa. A few hours earlier, someone had told the police that the thieves would try to steal the diamonds. When the plane arrived, some of the detectives were waiting inside the main building, while others were waiting on the airfield. 2 men took the parcel off the plane and carried it into the customer's house, while 2 detectives were keeping guard at the door. Two others opened the puzzle. To their surprise, the precious puzzle was full of stones and said, Lesson 8. The best and the worst. Why is John's garden the most beautiful one in the town? John Sanders had the most beautiful garden in our town. Nearly everybody enters for the nicest garden competition each year, but Joe wins every time. Bill Fred's garden is larger than Joe's. Bill works harder than Joe and grows more flowers and vegetables, but Joe's garden is more interesting. He has made neat paths and has built a wooden bridge over a pool. I like gardens too, but I do not like hard work. Every year I enter for the garden competition too, and I always win a little prize for the worst garden in town. Lesson 9. A cold welcome. What does a cold welcome refer to? What does a cold welcome refer to? On Wednesday evening, we went to the town hall. It was the last day of the year, and a large crowd of people had gathered under the town hall clock. It was struck 12 in 20 minutes time. 15 minutes passed, and then, at 5 to 12, the clock stopped. The big minute hand did not move. We waited and waited, but nothing happened. Suddenly, someone shouted, It's 2 minutes past 12. The clock has stopped. I looked at my watch. It was true. The big clock refused to welcome the new year. At that moment, everybody began to laugh and sing. Lesson 10. Not for jazz. What happened to the clavichord? We have no musical instrument. It is called clavichord. It was made in Germany in 1681. Our clavichord is kept in the living room. It has belonged to our family for a long time. The instrument was bought by my grandfather many years ago. Recently, it was damaged by a visitor. She tried to play jazz on it. She struck the keys too hard, and 2 of strings were broken. My father was shocked. Now we are not allowed to touch it. It is being repaired by friends of my father's. Lesson 11. Lesson 11. One good turn deserves another. Who paid for Tony's dinner? I was having dinner at a restaurant when Tony Steele came in. Tony worked in a lawyer's office years ago, but he's now working at the bank. He gets good salary, but he always borrows money from his friends and never pays it back. Tony saw me and came and sat at the same table. He has never borrowed money from me. While he was eating, I asked him to lend me 20 pounds. To my surprise, he gave me the money immediately. I have never borrowed any money from you, Tony said, so now you can pay for my dinner. Lesson 12. Goodbye and good luck. Where is Captain Ellison going and how? Our neighbor, Captain Charles Ellison, will sail from Portsmouth tomorrow. We're meeting at the harbor early in the morning. He will be in his small boat, Topsail. Topsail is a famous little boat. It has sailed across the Atlantic many times. Captain Ellison will set out at 8 o'clock, so we'll have plenty of time. We'll see his boat, and then we will say goodbye to him. He will be away for 2 months. We are very proud of him. He will take part in an important race across the Atlantic. Lesson 13. The Greenwood Boys. Why will the people have a difficult time? The Greenwood Boys are a group of pop singers. At present, they are visiting all parts of the country. They will be arriving here tomorrow. They will be coming by train, and most of the young people in the town will be meeting them at the station. Tomorrow evening, they will be singing at a workers' club. The Greenwood Boys will be staying for 5 days. During this time, they will give 5 performances. As usual, the police will have difficult time. They will be trying to keep order. It is always the same on these occasions. Lesson 14. Do you speak English? Did the young man speak English? I had an amusing experience last year. After I had left a small village in the south of France, I drove on to the next town. On the way, a young man waved to me. I stopped and he asked me for a lift. As soon as he had got into the car, I said good morning to him in French, and he replied in the same language. Apart from a few words, I don't know any French at all. Neither of us spoke during the journey. I had nearly reached the town when the young man suddenly said very slowly, "Do you speak English?" As I soon learned, he was English himself. Lesson 15. Good news. What was the good news? The secretary told me that Mr. Harmsworth would see me. I felt very nervous when I went into his office. He did not look up from his desk when I entered. After I had sat down, he said that business was very bad. He told me that the firm could not afford to pay such large salaries. 20 people had already left. I knew that my turn had come. "Mr. Harmsworth," I said in a weak voice. "Don't interrupt," he said. Then he smiled and told me I would receive an extra £1,000 a year. Lesson 16. A polite request. What was a polite request? If you park your car in the wrong place, a traffic policeman will soon find it. You will be very lucky if he lets you go without a ticket. However, this does not always happen. Traffic police are sometimes very polite. During a holiday in Sweden, I found this note on my car. "Sir, we welcome you to our city. This is no parking area. You will enjoy your stay here. If you pay attention to our street signs, this note is only a reminder. If you received a request like this, you cannot fail to obey it." Lesson 17. Always young. Why doesn't Aunt Jennifer tell anyone how old she is? My Aunt Jennifer is an actress. She must be at least 35 years old. In spite of this, she often appears on the stage as a young girl. Jennifer will have to take part in a new play soon. This time, she will be a girl of 17. In the play, she must appear in a bright red dress and long black stockings. Last year, in another play, she had to wear short socks and a bright orange-colored dress. If anyone ever asks her how old she is, she always answers, "Darling, it must be terrible to be grown up." Oh, lesson 18, lesson 18. He often does this. What had happened to the writer's bag? After I had had lunch in a village pub, I looked for my bag. I had left it on a chair beside the door, but now it wasn't there. As I was looking for it, the landlord came in. Did you have good meal? He asked. "Yes, thank you," I answered, "but I can't pay the bill. I haven't got my bag." The landlord smiled and immediately went out. In a few minutes, he returned with my bag and gave it back to me. "I'm very sorry," he said. "My dog had taken it into the garden. He often does this." Lesson 19. Sold out. When will the writer see the play? "The play may begin at any moment," I said. It may have begun already," Susan answered. I hurried to the tickets office. "May I have 2 tickets, please?" I asked. "I'm sorry, we've sold out," the girl said. "What a pity," Susan exclaimed. Just then, a man hurried to the tickets office. "Can I return these 2 tickets?" he asked. "Certainly," the girl said. I went back to the tickets office at once. "Could I have those 2 tickets, please?" I asked. "Certainly," the girl said. "But they're for next Wednesday's performance. Do you still want them?" "I might as well have them," I said sadly. Lesson 20. One man in the boat. Why is fishing the writer's favorite sport? Fishing is my favorite sport. I often fish for hours without catching anything, but this does not worry me. Some fishermen are unlucky. Instead of catching fish, they catch old boats and rubbish. I am even less lucky. I never catch anything, not even old boats. After having spent whole mornings on the river, I always go home with an empty bag. You must give up fishing, my friends say. It's a waste of time, but they don't realize one important thing. I'm not really interested in fishing. I'm only interested in sitting in the boat and doing nothing at all. Lesson 21. Mad or not? Why do people think the writer is mad? Airplanes are slowly driving me mad. I live near the airport and passing plane can be heard night and day. The airplane was built years ago, but for some reason, it could not be used then. Last year, however, it came into use. Over 100 people must have been driven away from their homes by the noise. I'm one of the few people left. Sometimes I think this house will be knocked down by a passing plane. I have been offered a large sum of money to go away, but I'm determined to stay here. Everybody says I must be mad, and they're probably right. Lesson 22. A glass envelope. How did Jane receive a letter from a stranger? My daughter Jane never dreamed of receiving a letter from a girl of her own age in Holland. Last year we were traveling across the channel, and Jane put a piece of paper with her name and address on it into a bottle. She threw the bottle into the sea. She never thought of it again. But 10 months later, she received a letter from a girl in Holland. Both girls write to each other regularly now. However, they had decided to use postcards, a post office. Letters will cost a little more, but they will certainly travel faster. Lesson 23. A new house. Why is the new house special? I had a letter from my sister yesterday. She lives in Nigeria. In her letter, she said she would come to England next year. If she comes, she will get a surprise. We are now living in a beautiful new house in the country. Work on it had begun before my sister left. The house was completed 5 months ago. In my letter, I told her that she could stay with us. The house has many large rooms, and there is a lovely garden. It is a very modern house, so it looks strange to some people. It must be the only modern house in the district. Lesson 24. It could be worse. Had the writer's money been stolen? I entered the hotel manager's house and sat down. I had just lost 50 pounds and I felt very upset. I left the money in my room, I said, but it's not there now. The manager was sympathetic, but he could do nothing. Everyone is losing money these days, he said. He started to complain about this wicked world, but was interrupted by a knock at the door. A girl came in and put an envelope on his desk. It contained 50 pounds. I found this outside this gentleman's room, the girl said. Well, I said to the manager, there is still some honesty in this world. Lesson 25. do the English speak English? Why does the writer not understand? The porter. I arrived in London at last. The railway station was big, black, and dark. I didn't know the way to my hotel, so I asked a porter. I not only spoke English very carefully, but very clearly as well. The porter, however, could not understand me. I repeated my question several times, and at last he understood. He answered me, but he spoke neither slowly nor clearly. I am a foreigner, I said. Then he spoke slowly, but I could not understand him. My teacher never spoke English like that. The porter and I looked at each other and smiled. Then he said something and I understood it. You will soon learn English, he said. I wonder, in England, each person speaks a different language. The English understand each other, but I don't understand them. Do they speak English? Lesson 26. 16个. The best are critics. Who is the student's best critic? Critic. I'm not a student, and I paint a lot of pictures. Many people pretend that they understand modern art. They always tell you what a picture is about. Of course, many pictures are not about anything. They are just pretty patterns. We like them in the same way that we like pretty curtain material. I think that young children often appreciate modern pictures better than anyone else. They notice more. My sister is only 7, but she always tells me whether my pictures are good or not. She came into my room yesterday. What are you doing? She asked. I'm hanging this picture on the wall. I answered. It's a new one. Do you like it? She looked at it critically for a moment. It's all right, she said. But isn't it upside down? I looked at it again. She was right. It was. 好 ，lesson 最后一课学习的27课 ，lesson 27。A wet night， 雨夜。What happened to the boys in the night? Late in the afternoon, the boys put up their tent in the middle of field. They cooked a meal over an open fire. They were all hungry, and the food smelled good. After a wonderful meal, they told stories and sang songs by the campfire. But some time later, it began to rain. The boys felt tired, so then put out the fire and swept into their tent. Their sleeping bags were warm and comfortable, so they all slept soundly. In the middle of night, two boys woke up and began shouting. The tent was full of water. They all leapt out of their sleeping bag and hurried outside. It was raining heavily, and they found that a stream had formed in a field. The stream wound its way across the field, and then flowed right under their tent. 好了，1到27课的课文内容背诵就到这里，好，下次见，拜拜。